Hello everyone and welcome back to Global TC. We are here at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil for the penultimate event in the season here. We are all very excited for what should be a very important and potentially surprising round here around the Interlagos circuit. We really do not know what to expect. All season long we've been saying there's so long left to go that it is too soon to even think about the championship really. But that's not the case anymore. There are only 6 races left, including today's 3. So we are getting oh so close to the end of this season. We've just got this event here at Interlagos and then the finale at Monza in Italy. It is oh so close to being the end of the season and a champion being crowned. But the championship is still so incredibly close between all of the drivers. The same goes for the manufacturers, Alfa Romeo and Toyota. There may only be 2 manufacturers really in the Manufacturers' Championship fight, but those 2 manufacturers are quite close as well. So whilst there's still pretty much all 19 drivers, at least definitely mathematically in the title fight coming in here today, we could even still have 19 after today going into the title fight at Monza. So this is a really important stage of the season now. All these races give the same amount of points as they have all season, but it just feels like it means that little bit more here today at Interlagos. So I do hope you are already here for what is going to be a very important round of the season. Let's have a look now at how they lined up for race 1 here in Brazil. At the very back of the grid, we can see in 19th place, it is the Toyota of Tyler Davison. Just ahead of him, it is Liam Jones in the Mitsubishi. Ahead of them, it is Albert Asante in the Toyota. Then we see Preston Brennan, the lowest starting car with softs on for this race. Ahead of him, it is Daniel Solon on the mediums. Then it is Adrian Tisci on hards. Andre Jamil just ahead of them, also on hards. Same is the case for Lewis Francis, starting in 12th place. Just outside the top 10, Carlo Durante on mediums. Same is the case for Matt Pulio, just ahead of him. Vishal Shah also on mediums, with Aaron Richardson just ahead of him in the VW on the hard compound tyre. Then it's Jordan Fingal and Ben Driscoll, both BMW starting this race on the soft compound tyres. Jonathan Mills just ahead of them though, splits the lead group in terms of tyre strategy. He's starting on mediums, with the top 4 all starting on softs. There we see Adam Liu, Kieran Kevern, and then we see the front row, it's all Alfa Romeo. Dylan Varstenberg starts second, but on pole position, still looking for his first win of the season. It is Scott Sandover there, the only winless driver so far this season, and he starts race 1 from pole position. The cars are ready, and so are we. Let's hope the drivers are too, because we are racing here for race 1 at Interlagos. It's a slow start from Mills there on the mediums with that front-wheel drive Honda. He's falling back quickly, but up at the front, it is going to be Sandover that leads into Telman Vostenberg trying to fend off the charge of Kieran Kevern as they go through the first turn. Ben Driscoll has got past Adam Liu behind as well. The BMW rear-wheel drive getting a good start there past the Renault, which of course is front-wheel drive. The front-wheel drive car struggling more off the launch in these races as we see them heading their way down towards turn 4 for the first time. Scott Sandover has a nice lead as they head down towards that corner, but they're side by side for second. It's Varstenberg versus Kevern here. Alfa Romeo versus Toyota is into the back of Varstenberg there. Adam Liu making up all the time lost on the start by just sending it on the brakes into turn 4. He gets down the inside, not only past Driscoll, he's now up alongside Kieran Kevern here as they enter the middle part of the lap here. This is the cornering part of the lap where the tyres are really going to flex their muscles here, and you can see Liu has already got up into 3rd place there, passed around the outside of Kevern, as now Driscoll's looking to do a similar move there in the BMW. Varstenberg in 2nd, all on his own now, but they're still just battling it out for that 3rd position. Kevern can't quite stay with Liu through there. The Renault getting that move done now as Driscoll tries to follow the Renault through as they head through this slower speed part of the lap. You see the 2 BMWs hunting their prey at the moment of Kieran Kevern just ahead of them, but at the lead of the race it is still Scott Sandover leading the way ahead of his teammate Dylan Varstenberg. Adam Liu up to 3rd as we see the 2 BMWs getting oh so close there. Driscoll looking to try and make a move on Kevern, but also needs to keep an eye on his mirrors because you can see Jordan Fingal looking all over the back of him to try and find a way around his teammate as he now has a little bit of a look to the inside, but for now it's Ben Driscoll who stays ahead and will be the lead BMW at this stage of the race. As we look now in the battle for 2nd place, Adam Liu had a slow start. He made a couple of positions back up on lap 1, and he's looking to try and get himself into 2nd here as we enter the 2nd lap and down into turn 4, where he took 4th and then eventually 3rd place last lap. He gets down the inside of Varstenberg, and Varstenberg in the Alfa Romeo is going to fight him back here on corner exit. The Renault we saw last time out in Tokyo has got very strong top speed though. The Alfa Romeo is a competitor in that respect as they go into the middle part of the lap now. We see these two side by side still. Vastenberg trying to carry the speed around the outside, but the Alfa Romeo, just compared to the Renault, is a brick on wheels. The Renault is so lightweight and very powerful. The Alfa Romeo very powerful, but not lightweight in the slightest. That lets Liu get up into second place, and he's not settling for second. He wants the lead here. Scott Sandover desperate to hold on here for his first win. He starts from pole position, but you can see Liu is going down the inside. Is it going to be Control C, Control V here for the race leader Adam Liu? It looks like it may well be here, because Scott Sandover's fighting back just like his teammate did, but he's not quite able to stay alongside here, and Liu isn't going to have to even fight this one off as long as he had to fight for Vastenberg's position. He's got into the lead of this race, and Adam Liu looking for win number 4 on the season, the man that started this season with the very first win in Global TC. He leads this race now for us in Interlagos, as we now look further down the field in the battle for 7th, 8th position. Preston Brennan on the back of Jonathan Mills. Preston Brennan started all the way down in 16th position. Jonathan Mills started up in 5th, but you can see here, Brennan with those soft tyres in the Mercedes is going to get that move done nice and easily there on the Honda driver. Jonathan Mills setting himself up for hopefully more Race 2 success. He has become a bit of a Race 2 master recently, with 4 wins all coming in Race 2, and with his softs being saved for Race 2 once again, I think we're seeing what Jonathan Mills likes to do best here in this series. Brendan, meanwhile, likes to go with the softs Race 1. He didn't like the fact that he qualified poorly, wanted to make up for it quickly and get that track position, and looks like it's working here, but it is always a risk in Race 1, because if you get stuck in the traffic, there is nowhere for you to go. But up at the front here on the final lap of the race, it is Adam Liu who still leads the way from Scott Sandover. Sandover has not let Adam Liu go, nor has Dylan Vastenberg. The whole top 6 really all pulling away as a group from the rest of the field, but Adam Liu up at the front and is looking like Scott Sandover can't quite get close enough to challenge him on the run to the start-finish line now. It's going to be Adam Liu who's going to take race victory here in Race 1. At Interlagos, Scott Sandover with yet another second place to his name this season. Here we have the official results then for Race 1. Adam Liu, the 5th driver this season to get 4 wins. Scott Sandover still with 0 in second, but his consistency has to be rewarded. He is getting quite high in this championship now. Don't count him out for a potential surprise championship charge here. Dylan Vastenberg in 3rd place there, backing up his teammate Kieran Kevern just off the podium, with Ben Driscoll, Jordan Fingal behind him. Preston Brennan, the lowest of the soft runners, but starting 16th, that is to be expected. Jonathan Mills, the top car, not on the soft, just ahead of Adam Richardson on the hards. Vishai Shah in at 10th place. We're on the medium compound tyres, and it's Lewis Francis, Carlo Durante, Matt Pulio, Daniel Solomon, and championship leader entering here today, Liam Jones, getting a point for that 15th place. Just missing out on points there, we see it is Adrian Tishy behind him. It's Tyler Davison, and then Andre Jamil with Albert Asante bringing up the rear of the field in Race 1. With 3 Toyotas all missing out on points there in the race. Not the ideal start for their event. At the back of the field then for Race 2 it is Albert Asante in the Toyota, with Andre Jamil just ahead of him in the Alfa Romeo. Ahead of them both we see Tyler Davison, who started last Race 1. He made a little bit of progress, but he's still in the mid to back of the field here. Ahead of him it's his teammate Adrian Tishy, with Liam Jones just ahead of them both. Another Mitsubishi there with Daniel Solomon and Matt Pulio just ahead of the pair of them. Pulio on soft for this race, as is Davison further down the field. Ahead of them it's Durante and Francis, with Vishai Shah in 10th place there, just behind Adam Richardson. He's on mediums for this race, saving his soft to race 3. Jonathan Mills, once again, no surprise there, on soft to race 2, just behind him. Just ahead of him, I should say, is Preston Brennan. Jordan Fingal just ahead of them, with Ben Driscoll ahead of him. The 2 BMWs staying close together once more here, as Kieran Kevern just ahead of them. Then we see the top 3 on the grid. It's Dylan Vastenberg with 3rd, Scott Sandover on the front row with 2nd, but on pole position for Race 2 here at Interlagos, in the slightly more shaded conditions, it is Adam Liu. The cars are ready on the grid, the drivers are too, hopefully, as we are racing here for Race 2 at Interlagos, and it's a good start there from Sandover, who's going to immediately take the lead into turn 1. Liu drops back not only to 2nd, but looking like 3rd as well here, as Kevern fights it down the inside as they head through turn 1 and then into turn 2. It's Sandover out front here as they're side by side for 2nd still. Liu versus Kevern, Toyota versus Renault, the BMW off Fingal pressuring them behind their Fingal on the hard compound tyres, as is many of these lead drivers here. Adam Liu, though, on the mediums, trying to take advantage in this race, trying to get into the mix with some of these drivers he is around at the moment. As we now see, that's Fingal looking for the move. Actually, no, as Liu goes a little bit of contact into the back of the Toyota as they head through turn 4 as Vishai Shah there on those soft tyres. He is just about the top car on softs there. Jonathan Mills on his inside as they head through turn 5. You can see Vishai Shah on softs. Jonathan Mills also on the soft compound tyre. Behind them, we then see that is the BMW of Ben Driscoll. They're in a bit of a BMW sandwich here, but not for much longer here, as that is Shah getting up past Jordan Fingal here. Shah, from the high of his first win of the season last time out in Tokyo, he's looking to try and make a charge for his second win this season. As we see Fingal racing side by side hard with Vishai Shah, blocking the advances of him and also the fellow soft runner Jonathan Mills just behind the pair of them. As we there see the field flowing their way through this relatively short lap here at Interlagos. In the season we've had where we've seen some very short laps, it's not quite the shortest, but at least in the grand scheme of things it is on the shorter end of the scale, especially considering we did race at the Nordschleife earlier on in the season here, as Shah does now happily for him get past Jordan Fingal, and Jonathan Mills will be next up to try and follow him through in that little battle here. Adam Liu just ahead next up. Not going to be an easy pass to make, though, with that Renault's speed on the straights. Sandover out front, though, with only the hard tyre on compared to some soft runners behind him. But out front leading, he can hope still that he could get the win here in race 2. We have seen drivers on non-soft tyres win races before, although we're yet to see a man on hard tyres take a race victory. Could Scott be the one to finally break his winless streak by doing just that? That would be quite the scene if he did just that. Now, as we see Kieran Kevin battling side by side with Adam Liu, still Liu does get that move done now finally for him on those medium tyres compared to Kevin on the hards. You would expect Liu to be able to make that move, and he does just that. Could even expect him to get past Sandover again soon as well, although he is carrying slightly more success ballast than the Alfa Romeo ahead of him. Now, as you see them heading towards turn 4 here on lap 2. It is Mills now clear of Fingal, as Shah is looking to try to make a move on Kevin, and he's going to get the move done on Kevin nice and quickly, and Kevin getting forced a little bit wide there's going to let Jonathan Mills through as well as they head through turn 5 and up towards turn 6 here, the fast right-hander at the top of the hill. We see here the two soft runners getting very close as they head up towards turn 6. Mills looking to the inside. Can he quite get the overlap? No, not quite. As Kieran Kevin still having to defend here, this time against another hard tyre runner here in the form of the BMW of Jordan Fingal. Ben Driscoll, not with the best start for him in this race. He's dropped back behind his teammate and is now feeling the pressure from Adam Richardson on the medium tyres. As we now see Vishai Shah with a bold move there as Liu went a little bit wide. And that's all the opportunity that Shah needed. He gets up into second place. Mills follows him through, though, and up into third place. But look at the brake performance of the Renault. Knew he had a clear run into that corner with no one ahead of him and broke on the absolute limit. But perhaps that cost him, as it does seem he went a little bit wide there. And that will hand that position to the Hondas of Jonathan Mills. The only Honda in the field here this season, although perhaps next season we will expect a few more in the field with a larger field size, or at least a larger amount of competitors entered into the series. Fingers crossed for that. As we get close to the end of this season, of course, we've still got a lot to think about this season, but next season as well has to cross our minds here. But for now, look at this battle for what is only second on the road, but could well be for the win here, and it could well be about to be for the lead of the race. That's a bit of a tongue twister, as it is Jonathan Mills powering past not only Shah, which is a really important move there, he's going to get past Sandover as well here, and the master of race 2 has taken the lead here. He goes to the front. Jonathan Mills leads race 2 here at Interlagos. Shah gets up past into second place ahead of Sandover and Lee. And now Shah has to put on a chance to try and reel in Jonathan Mills, so that is not going to be an easy job to do. We've seen Mills' strength in this race so far this season. As you now see, that's Matt Pulio, another driver who likes a soft tyre in a race 2. He's on the back of Ben Driscoll here on the hard compound tyres. You can see Pulio with the run down into turn 4 and nice and easily done onto the brakes. He's going to get that move done as Richardson goes slightly wide ahead of them there as they come through turns 4 and 5. Now Pulio making a slow march towards the front on his soft compound tyres. Only 5 drivers on softs in this race. The others, aside from Mills, Shah and Pulio, as we see Pulio making another move there on Richardson. They are further down the field. Adrian Tishy and Tyler Davison, 2 Toyotas that started right near the back of the field. They are both on the softs for this race. So keep an eye out for them making their way through the order as well here. As you now see the battle for the third place on the podium. Adam Liu, we saw him make a pass on Scott Sandover in race 1. He's trying to do it again here in race 2. This time he does have a tyre advantage. Mediums versus hards as they head towards turn 1. Adam Liu is going to have the inside line there, and we've seen the Renault be an absolute force on the brakes, and he gets it done nice and easily through turn 1. And just needs to try and carry some momentum out of here, and that will be Liu comfortably up into third place here. He's trying to get a gap though before those soft runners behind him can reel him in there. Julio up into 5th place already in this one, and it won't be long until he gets involved in the scrap headers here. We see Davison is up in 9th place. His teammate Aaron Tishy just gets behind him into 10th place. Davison trying to set up a move here on Richardson, trying to make some important moves here as we're nearly halfway through this race already. Davison on the soft compound tyres. He did start very low in the field, so it's understandable it'll take him some time to get through the field, but he needs to get these moves done as quickly as he can if he wants to try and get up in the mix with the other soft runners at the front, or even just behind them is really the best he can probably hope for here as he goes down the inside. But not only on Richardson, he's going to get Fingal as well here, and Tishy is going to follow him through behind. The two Toyotas tandeming their way through the field here on these soft compound tyres. This duo have been hard to separate all season, not just because their liveries are so similar here. Tishy and Davison making their way now through turn 6 as we see them battle behind. Actually looks like it's Richardson and Fingal battling as well here, as now we see it's Toyotas battling Toyotas, as actually that is Tishy going around the outside of Davison as they head through into the middle sector of the lap, and there that is Tishy down the inside on their teammate of Kieran Kevern. Davison going to try and follow through, and he does just that there, getting up the order as the 4 Toyota in this race. If you're wondering where Albert Asante is, he's saving his softs for race 3, so he is much further down the order. He is on the mediums for this race, so he'll be hoping just for a few points from this one probably here. As we see, the battle is fierce throughout this order here. We see the 2 Toyotas are still side by side in this race, putting on an incredible show for us. We've Scott Sandover just ahead of them, and we've seen Sandover a bit of a moving chicane for other soft runners in this race. That's how Mills took the lead, if you remember. And now we're seeing a similar situation here. We could even see them go 3 wide to turn 1 here at this rate here. The 2 Toyotas on the back of the Alfa Romeo of Scott Sandover. Sandover on his hard compound tyres, trying to hold on here to a top 5 finish, but these 2 Toyotas have definitely got something to say about that there. As we see Tishy is the car looking to the inside, I believe, or no it isn't, it's Davison on the inside. The downside of having so many similar, those two being almost identical cars there. We see Pulio just ahead of them in 3rd place. He's just cleared Liu there for that podium position. Davison up into 5th place, as that is Tishy stuck behind Sandover still on this lap, as now we see Davison is looking to try and make a move down the inside of Liu. Not quite able to do it on the brakes, but look at that Liu. We've said he's strong on the brakes, but in that corner he just perhaps pushed it a little bit too hard there. He goes wide and loses that position as Davison gets up into 4th position. Now it's only soft tyre runners ahead of him, as Tishy will be looking to find himself in a similar situation here after starting way back in this race. He now looks for that 6th position from Sandover and does the move that his teammate pulled off last lap down the inside of turn 1. We'll see battling behind there between Richardson and Kevern there as well. Richardson side by side actually with the Toyota as they come out of that corner. Kevern on the hard compound tyres, Richardson on the mediums, trying to pull off a little bit of a unique strategy here as he carries some momentum around the outside, but not quite able to get the position that time around. With the run down towards turn 4 though, you'd expect Volkswagen to have a good opportunity here on the brakes into the next corner. You can see he's looking to the inside. Kevin not able to do much in the means of defence there, but Richardson does go a little bit deep. That could offer up an opportunity here for Kevin to go for a little bit of a switch back here. Not quite able to get the momentum out of the corner though. The mediums prove to be the stronger tyre there and get up into 8th position for Richardson, who has soft tyres of race 3, so he's looking set for a top 8 or a top, at least a top 10, even a top 8 maybe in this race. Could be a very successful event for him here if he can make the reverse grid with his soft tyres for race 3. As we now see Tishy look to try and make a bold move here around the outside of Adam Liu. Now we've said the Renault, a bit of a rocket ship on the straight. It has to lose some time somewhere, and it looks like that's coming in the corners as Tishy makes that move look easy. The Toyota on those soft tyres gets down, around the outside, now down the inside, and as much as Liu tries to fight it, he can't fight it off there. As that is Tishy up in to the 5th position here. As they start the final lap here, it is Richardson putting some pressure on Scott Sandover into turn 1. He gets that move done nicely into 7th position. The medium tyres for the British driver working out very well there, although the other British driver, Scott Sandover, that's frustrated with the 2nd place in race 1, wants to try and cling on to as many positions as he can in this 2nd race here, knowing he's got his his medium for race 3. He wants to try and hold on to a good reverse grid position here. But up at the front, the man that will be starting race 3 in 10th place, it's Jonathan Mills, because he's going to take his 5th win of the season, the first driver to 5 wins. He wins race 2 at Interlagos in dominant fashion there in the end. Once he got to the lead, he did not look back there, as we see Vishay Shah in 2nd place, Matt Pulio in 3rd there, Tyler Davison in 4th ahead of his Toyota teammate Adrian Tishy. Adam Liu takes 6th place there in the Renault ahead of Adam Richardson there. Then it's Scott Sandover in 8th place, taking the final position in the top 8 there. But Adam Richardson's the one to keep an eye on there. 7th place, he'll start race 3 in 4th and on soft compound tyres. He may well be hard to beat there in that one. As we see, our front row for race 3 will be Kieran Kevan with Jordan Fingal on the pole position there. Both of those drivers will be on mediums for that race. Ben Driscoll just missing out on the top 10 there, losing that position to his teammate in that race, with Preston Brennan, Dylan Varstenberg, Carlo Durante and Daniel Solon rounding out the points in race 2. Albert Asante just missing out on a crucial point in his title hopes here. In 16th place, Lewis Francis 17th, Andre Jamil 18th, and the championship leader entering today in 19th there. He's got a lot of work to do in race 3. So let's have a look at the starting grid for the final race today here at Interlagos. At the very back of the field, it is Liam Jones on the softs, Andre Jamil also on the soft compound tyres. Same goes for Lewis Francis, you may notice a pattern here. Albert Asante also on the soft compound tyres. Daniel Solon on the softs, Carlo Durante on the soft compound tyre. Ahead of them, Dylan Varstenberg, he is on the medium compound tyres. Then it is Preston Brennan on the hard compound tyres. Ben Driscoll on the mediums, ahead of him, Jonathan Mills on the hard compound tyres for this race. Then it is, Vishay Shah on the hards, Matt Pulio on the hard compound tyres. Then we see it is the Toyota of Tishy there, Davison just behind Tishy there. Ahead of them, it is Adam Liu in the Renault. Adam Richardson in the Volkswagen on softs for this race. Then we see it's Scott Sandover behind Kieran Kevan. But on pole position here for the 3rd and final race of the day here in Brazil, it's the BMW of the American driver Jordan Fingal. He'll start us from the point in race 3. So the drivers are ready then, and let's go racing for the final time today here in Brazil. And it's a good start from Jordan Fingal from the pole position. Kieran Kevan second, side by side with Scott Sandover as Adam Richardson, despite being a front-wheel drive car, those soft tyres proving to be a perfect call as he gets up into 2nd position there straight away off the launch. That's not something you see often from the front-wheel drive cars there. As we look through the field, we see side-by-side racing all the way through the pack here. Pulio in 7th, behind him it's Driscoll and Davison battling it out, and make that Durante and Davison now, as that is Driscoll who's got clear of them. But up at the front, you can see we could have a change of lead already. From 4th to 1st, it's Adam Richardson in the Volkswagen. He gets straight to the lead here on those soft compound tyres. This could well be his race to lose. We've seen it before where it does happen late on in a race where we do see a change of lead, but that's going to be a hard car to pass here in these late stages already. It's lap 1. And it's Adam Richardson on those soft compound tyres who leads the way ahead of the field. As we see here, side-by-side racing, it's Durante battling with Driscoll and Pulio. These 3 drivers all scrapping away for positions at the back end of the top 10 here. Pulio trying to carry some momentum around the outside. He does just that. Driscoll trying to follow him through there. As the Alfa Romeo of Durante on the inside, trying to stay in the mix here. Durante on the soft compound tyres. He's got a real chance here of a very strong result indeed, and a result that could put him as one of the drivers near the front of the Drivers' Championship here. Side by side with Driscoll, who was one of the drivers high up in the championship earlier on in the season, but had a disappointing race 1 at Tokyo, which really tumbled him down the order here. As we see Durante up in to 7th place, Pulio in 8th there behind him. And then it's Solon also on soft tyres, trying to make his way through the field in a bid to try and put himself in the championship fight coming in to the finale here. He's side by side there with Driscoll going all the way around that side as Lewis Francis in the Subaru making a similar manoeuvre there to get up a position. Can he quite clear the BMW? Looks like he's going to be able to get him on corner exit there. Francis on those soft compound tyres, making his way through the field quickly here as Driscoll drops back in this race. He started 11th, he made a couple of spots off the line, but he now falls back down into that 11th position, and we see just ahead of him there, Julio is the next to be passed by the Mitsubishi of Daniel Solon and the Subaru of Lewis Francis as they head into turn 1. A little bit of contact by the looks of things there, Julio perhaps making some contact with the Subaru as they head into the braking zone, but it is Subaru making their way past the Ford. Now, as we see now, it's the Mitsubishi again making a move here. Solon on the outside of Adam Liu. The Renault, which has been a rocket ship all day so far on the hard compound tyres, is going to have a crushing back down to earth here, I fear, in a race for Liu. Side by side here with Solon as they head into turn 4. Solon should be able to comfortably outbrake the Renault. If not, he should find himself much better on corner exit there, but no, look at that. Lewis Francis bullies his way past the pair of them. That's a bold move there from the Subaru driver, the highlighter orange car, really highlighting himself there up into 7th position, as up at the front it is Adam Richardson still in control of this race by a healthy margin out front ahead of Jordan Fingal and Kieran Kevan. As we look back to this battle between Liu and Solon, Liu with a little bit of a wide moment there, but now look who's in the mix. It is the championship leader coming into today, Liam Jones in the Mitsubishi. He is in the mix here in this race, and he is side by side with his teammate here. But Solon, while so far this season has really probably been the second of the two Mitsubishi drivers for the majority of the season now, it's getting quite close here at the end of the season, and you'd have to feel it'd be harsh for Mitsubishi to prefer one of their drivers over the other at this stage here, because Solon really is still in the mix here as Liam Jones does get stuck behind Liu. He's going to look for the inside here in to the final proper corner of the lap here, and is going to get that move done nice and easily done up in to that 9th position there, as we see Jones trying to make his way up the order and get some very crucial points on the board here from what has been a very quiet day for him so far, with just 1 point scored so far in races 1 and 2. As you look now to Carlo Durante, he's on the back of his teammate Scott Sandover. Sandover on the medium compound tyres, Durante on the softs. The softs will have the grip though as they head down towards turn 4. He looks to the inside here, braking as late as he can, and as we see many drivers making a similar move behind him. It is Durante up into 4th position. He muscles his way past his teammate now as Francis does a similar thing there to, I believe that is Tishy just behind him, and Solon follows through as well to get into that 7th position. Francis having a little bit of a look around the outside, not quite able to do it though. Gonna have to try and carry some real momentum here. Maybe he can do it. He's gonna give it a good go. It's a hard one to call there. He is gonna be able to get the exit there. Brilliant move there. Francis, I was really not sure if he could make that move stick. Having a little look, sticking his nose around the outside of that corner, not usually something that's done. Sticking his down the inside of this corner though, something that Durante has done brilliantly to get up into 3rd position. He gets up the order into the podium places now as we see side-by-side racing Solon trying to make that move on Sandover as they break now in to this next corner of the lap. This very tricky hairpin. A lot of the corners here at Interlagos, nice bit of a camber on them, which means that the car sort of leans in to the corner like a motorcycle would lean into a corner, but the sort of road, the pavement, really helps them out with that effect and really makes these cars fly their way around here, except for this corner off camber, not a nice one for the cars and drivers as they struggle for grip on exit. But Durante, he won't mind as that's got him up into 2nd position there, head of Fingal. Francis now looking to try and make a similar manoeuvre down the straight. We see the two Mitsubishis are side by side again here, these two drivers looking to try and get themselves ahead of the Toyota ahead of them, and they may actually make it 3 wide as they head down the main straight. Solon with the momentum around the outside, he's going to get up into 5th place here. As ahead of them we see Francis making his way up into the podium positions there, as it is Solon into 5th behind them. Kevin just about holds onto that position as there we see Albert, the black number 39, makes his way up into number 8th position there, as that's a good move from the Toyota driver who has been very anonymous so far today. Another one of the drivers who came in today very high in the championship, has so far not scored today, so all his hopes are resting on this race 3, and slowly he's making his way forward here as Solon goes down the inside of Jordan Fingal there, as it is the common situation you'll see a lot of these drivers find themselves in. If you use your softs in race 1 or 2 and then make the reverse grid for race 3, you're going to have a painful race 3. It doesn't necessarily mean you won't score many points, and you'll probably score more points than you would have if you'd otherwise qualified, well, finished further down the order in race 2. But still, it means you're going to spend your day looking in the mirrors and watching cars just drive on past you, a little bit like that as Liam Jones demonstrates. He drives around the outside of Kieran Kevin there, and will, I'm sure, have a look at Jordan Fingal into the next part of the lap. He's going to have a little look, not quite able to do it though, too far back on the BMW there, as Liam Jones pressures the BMW as they head through the middle sector of the lap, using the mechanical grip of those soft compound tyres to his advantage, really pressuring on the back of the BMW driver here, as Albert Asante further down the field trying to make a move past his teammate Kieran Kevin, putting some pressure on his fellow Toyota driver there, as they head through the long, fast left-hander here. Asante looking to try and look to the inside for the final proper corner, looking for the move, not quite able going to be able to do it though, although I say that he's going to get very close to the rear bumper of his teammate, as Liam Jones does a similar thing, but with the BMW of Jordan Fingal, the American driver, trying to fend off the British driver here, as we see them making their way down the main straight once more here. Liam Jones trying to get this move done as quickly as possible. All the top 4 drivers currently on softs. Fingal, the highest driver, not on softs in this race, followed by Kieran Kevin, also not on softs at this point in the race. Liam Jones, making the move here into turn 1. Going to try and brake late, but Fingal there with an impressive display of braking in the BMW. Makes his medium tyres stick there, as you see a similar situation there with the 2 Toyotas behind, just not able to get the out-braking done into turn 1. They're going to have to carry some momentum through turns 2 and 3 and carry the momentum on to the second long straight of the lap here. And if you can carry some momentum down into turn 4, it should be a nice and simple overtaking manoeuvre into the braking zone of turn 4, because you can just carry the momentum out through turn 5 and get up into the nice twisty bit of the lap where the softs work. But look at that, Fingal is putting up an incredible fight here, and as we see Albert Asante make the move behind on Kevin, Liam Jones is getting a little bit stuck here, it seems, behind the BMW of Fingal. The BMW, which at times this season has been a bit all or nothing, Jordan Fingal, of course, with 4 wins to his name, is holding on very, very impressively here at the moment. But now you can see Liam Jones having to feel the pressure, not only ahead of him now, behind as well, from Albert Asante as they head towards turn 1. The Toyota looking to try and make the move down the inside, and he is going to get that move done. And lovely bit of double overtaking there from Albert Asante. Much needed move as well on Liam Jones. These 2 drivers oh so close in the championship. Really important manoeuvre there for Albert Asante to get ahead of one of his title championship rivals there. As for Andre Jamil on the soft tyres there in the Alfa Romeo, making a move on Kevin as well here. Down the inside in the Alfa Romeo. Nice move done there. Andre Jamil not having the day to remember here in his home event, the one Brazilian in the field. Sadly, poor qualifying, poor races 1 and 2. Saved his softs race 3, and it hasn't gone much better for him in this race either here today. As now we see Albert Asante is on the back of Daniel Solon here for 4th position, for what could be a very important position here in this race. Both of these drivers on softs, but Albert Asante, he's charging his way through the field in the Toyota, which at times this season, its big weakness has been its inability to overtake beyond the first lap. And look at it there. It makes the move on the Mitsubishi, as so often those roles have been reversed this season. The Toyota making the moves here at Interlagos on a track which clearly suits it well, as we see there, pressuring him all the way through there. Daniel Solon trying to wrestle that position back, but it seems he's just not quite able to. But at the front, you'll be forgiven for thinking that he's just not in this race anymore. But Adam Richardson, he's so far clear. We really haven't spoken about him since he took the lead. But he's up at the front. And the man that started the season so well had a bit of a slump in the mid-season. But he's back in the fight for wins here. And he's going to take the win in race 3 here today at Interlagos. He takes his 2nd win of the season. And what a time to take it. He puts himself to the lead of the Drivers' Championship as we head towards the finale. As we now see the official results for race 3 here at Interlagos. It's Adam Richardson there, as I said, taking the lead of the championship with that win here today, ahead of Carlo Durante and Luis Francis there. Albert Asante in 4th position, ahead of Daniel Solon and Liam Jones. Andre Jamil took 7th in the end there, just ahead of Jordan Fingal in 8th place. Just outside the top 8, we see Kieran Kevin, Scott Sandover running out the top 10 there. Adrian Tishy just missing out there, ahead of Adam Liu, had a very impressive day as well. Ben Driscoll in 13th place, Tyler Davison in 14th, Matt Pulio in 15th, taking the final points-paying position for race 3. Jonathan Mills, the race 2 master, taking the 1st place outside of the points there in race 3. Behind him, it's Vishay Shah, Preston Brennan, and bring up the rear of the field in race number 3 here, it is Dylan Vastenberg for Alfa Romeo. So that's it then for the 15th and penultimate event here in the global TC season. As I mentioned, Adam Richardson leads the championship now. I can tell you he leads it by 4 points ahead of Liam Jones and by 10 points ahead of Jonathan Mills. They are your top 3 in the championship. I can also tell you that the entire top 13 in points are all covered by just the points of 1 race victory, and all 19 drivers go to Monza in a week's time with a chance at the championship. Mathematically, any of them can win it. Of course, there's going to be favourites and there's going to be underdogs, but mathematically, anyone can win this championship in a week's time in Monza, so make sure to join us then. But thank you very much for watching this week. Until next time, goodbye.